It's quite a controversial one.
I've spent my money so you don't have to. Yeah, I remember why I don't wear these. The best purchase from Hermes. I have been in the luxury business for quite some time now. Hello lovely people, and welcome back to another video. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my best and my worst purchases, or shall I say luxury purchases. So I've spent my money so you don't have to. I have everything right next to me and in no particular order. I will just be picking everything up and I will let you know what I loved about it, what I hated about it. If I don't love it so much, well, not hated, hate is a very strong word, but why it didn't suit me, why you shouldn't spend or waste your money on something, why something is very useful and you should buy it, and how it's gonna benefit you. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First thing that I am pulling is actually quite embarrassing to show you guys. I do put it in the dust bag, but I have had this for about 3 years, and these are the cheap sandals, or the cheaper sandals, or my pronunciation is way off, but as you can see, the sole is pretty much eaten, and I always stuff it with the paper because I just love for the form to be there. But they still look brand new, these cheaper sandals, and I've had them, like I said, for 3 years. Whenever I'm traveling, whenever I'm doing anything, those are like my first go-to sandals to grab because they're just so comfortable. I love the way that they look. They have like an essence of luxury about them, not just because they are Hermes, but because the quality is absolutely amazing. I have really wide feet. I've mentioned this a million times before, and typically sandals are not super comfortable for me. I need like a good support, and oddly enough, these happen to be the best for that. You can see like they're super dusty. Oh my God, kind of embarrassing, but I wore these, walking around the streets of New York. I wore them in Madrid. I wore them to the beach. I wore them to the weekend concert, and I was jumping up and down nonstop in them. I go biking in them. They are so durable. They're almost like, I can compare them to like a Nokia phone or a Dell laptop. Like, they are indestructible. I love them so much so that I would buy another pair, like something that kind of looks like the color of my couch, like a nice beige taupey pair, and I just feel that you get the most bang for your buck when it comes to this sandal. But if like you do girl math, $600 for this sandal versus I've had it for 3 years, definitely worn it 600 times, it's been like $1 per wear. That's the cost per wear. So it's a very useful shoe. So if you've been thinking about it for quite some time now, I would say just pull the trigger. Now, the only thing I will say about these is there is a version where you have the strap in the back, and I like the concept of the mule and the slidiness, and it's so very comfortable. But after having them for all this time, I might just purchase the one with the strap in the back, because sometimes I feel like I have to grip the front with my toes, if that makes sense, and then that puts a strain on your calves because there's nothing holding the back of your foot, so to be clear. But love these. Could not rave about the cheaps more than I do now. And I know a lot of people are very judgmental about them, and they say that they're not like a classy shoe, whatever. I actually find that to be very false. They're quite versatile. You can wear them with jeans, and then you can also wear them with trousers, and they look really dressy. So on the contrary, I have these right here. These are the Oasis sandals, and I have worn them maybe 3 times, and they look wrecked. They look like they've been worn 100 times, like the cheaps, but they have not. Like I said, it could just be because of my foot. I do have a wider foot, but in the couple of times that I've worn them, they ended up looking like this. I find them to be so absolutely uncomfortable, and every time that I wear them, I forget, well, one of the few times, I'm like, oh yeah, let me put these on. And then as I start walking around, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I don't wear these. They're so uncomfortable. And I just don't know what the big, thing about it is. I think it's because it looks quite nice and it looks like the Oran, but I also feel like the Orans are so, what is the word I'm looking for? Overrated. They're so overrated. Everybody has them. It's whatever, unless like you get an interesting color one. It's just quite boring to the eyes. I think for the cost of these, they should be more comfortable, the quality should be better, you should be able to wear them more often. They are the same price as the cheap, but you know, I still will take an Oasis over an Oran just because you have a heel, a little bit of a heel, and the block heel, I'll say it's very comfortable. It's just more so the front that is uncomfortable, like by the pinky toe, like you'll get a blister. So yeah, I don't really recommend the Oasis. I would say that they're probably not the best purchase from Hermes, or overall, luxury-wise. The next item that I have here is very, very basic, but it is so worth it. It is the double flap small Chanel bag. And why I love this is because it is so versatile. It is so easy to just throw it on your shoulder, and it fits quite a lot without being overbearing, especially on, and I mentioned this in a few of my videos, on a small frame like myself. You do want to carry quite a few things, but you just don't want to lug around a huge bag. And this definitely is worth every penny. I would say don't just look for it in Chanel store. You can always buy it secondhand. The RealReal has a bunch of that can be dressed up or dressed down. Now, on the other hand, white version, I would say, is one of the worst purchases I have ever made. It is not worth it. And I have included this in my bag video that I had posted last year with my bag collection. And I say that I don't get too much wear from this bag because look at how the color transfer and the dirt is on this. No matter how many times I clean it, no matter how many times I wipe it or whatever, it's just not gonna go away. You have to be very, gentle, and it's difficult to maintain, the way that this bag looks, or keep it in a really good form without being super cautious. And when I wear something, I don't want to have to baby it. That's just not my style. I'm a big believer in, yes, your clothes should look really, really nice and clean and all of that. And if there's a tear, go ahead and fix it, things of that nature. But I don't believe in like babying your items. Like you bought them, you spent your money to use them. They're just items. They can be replaced. But if you're going to spend a lot of money on something, it should be getting its worth, essentially. And so for that reason, I am not fully obsessed with the white version, especially for the color transfer. And in my gut, I always knew I wanted the beige, so maybe that's something that I could do. But I do just think overall, in general, any light color bags typically do get that color transfer unless they're properly treated and coated so that they can maintain their patina. Now I've picked up another bag that I find to be a very helpful, useful bag. And this is my all-time favorite, which I also have shown in my previous bag collection video, the Saint Laurent Sac du Jour. This is such an amazing piece. Now this is in the baby size, not the nano. The nano is too small. But this calfskin is amazing. It is so durable. It maintains its structure. You have the option to open up the bag and make it nice and wide. It fits quite a few items. I can carry my water bottle, my makeup, keys, mic, a book, and it still is quite compact, not too heavy at all, and it's just a timeless piece. And I think that that is where this collection is going in terms of my closet, or just in terms of like the best versus worst purchases. I've realized that the best purchases happen to be timeless pieces that you can wear as much as possible, that you can get the more bang for your buck, a really good quality, something that won't get ruined after a few uses, or that you don't have to baby. And that's the things that we need, especially when we're always like on the go, walking around. Look at him. Can you not? That's my train of thought, because Angela's trying to have my afternoon snack. That is so good. Which, if you want to know what my favorite afternoon snack is when I'm in my healthy era, not eating chocolates, it is banana with Siggy's yogurt, because it has all of the protein, and then just like a little bit of honey and cinnamon. It's so delicious, so healthy, so clean, gives you energy. It's great. On to two useless bags that are just pretty and trendy and following up to what I've just spoken about. I have the mini Lady Dior. This color is so beautiful. I've worn it in the winter once. I've worn it in the summer 3 times. I don't wear it often. I did include it in my styling video recently just because I think that this color looks beautiful with like buttery yellow. It's like the biggest trend this year, or just in general, they're just like nice color combinations with each other, a blue and a yellow. But this bag is quite useless. It was trendy, and that was my fault. To spend that much money on such a small piece like this does not make any sense, barely fits anything, and while yes, it is beautiful to look at, it's not quite useful. The same goes for this pochette here. Now, the logo I used to think was amazing, and I really did like the concept of like an LV logo. I thought that this would be something that is gonna go from day to night, and because it was bigger than the classic vanity bags, that, you know, it was gonna work more like a bag. The fact that there is no strap makes it so useless. I'm not somebody that likes to carry their bags like that, although like I think it looks nice for pictures and it's very laid back and chic. When you're running around in New York, you absolutely have no use for holding a bag like that. Like, you need your hands, you need everything all day, 24/7. There is no point in something like this. The aspect of it being so trendy and having like such a loud logo is another reason why I'm like, this might not be the best bang for your buck, or one of the better purchases to have. Anything that has bigger logos or colors that can't be versatile or worn often are not going to benefit your wardrobe, unless you already have every single staple that you need and you don't mind throwing your money on these little accent pieces here and there. But I would say that this is definitely one of my worst purchases, and it's not something that I gravitate towards or that I'll ever grab, and it's just simply not useful. Now, the next item that I have in front of me is quite a controversial one, just because it is something that was highly sought after a long time ago, and it was so sought after that there are way too many dupes of this that people can't differentiate, although I can. And what I will say is it is quite a beautiful and useful bag, and I don't want you to forget about it in, you know, in the mix of all of these trendy pieces that are constantly coming out. This is the Saint Laurent envelope chain wallet. Now, it is not like any other wallet on chain. I've had the Gucci one, I've seen so many and tried on like the Chanel wallet on chains, and they are truly just wallet on chains. I will say, for the cost of this bag, it's truly a bit more than a wallet on chain. You have so much space on the inside. It can be worn crossbody, you can remove the strap, and the strap itself is so heavy and beautiful. And if you get the authentic one, the chain does not change color or anything of that nature. I've worn this in the rain, I've worn this while biking, I've worn this to dinner events. It is just so useful. So I mean, it's amazing. It's built really well. I love when something has great construction. I think that the chevron lines on the envelope make it look a little bit more beautiful. It's just a very simple detail, and the grain itself is amazing, because for example, the difference between this and this, while this is like the classic clean calfskin, it can get scratched easily. Luckily, it's durable. Mine does have a bit of a scratch, but I'm very good about like putting it inside its dust bag when I store it, at the very least. But I will say, anything that has like a pebble grain or something like this will be super durable, and that's exactly what that is. Aside from that, the aesthetic appeal of this bag is just so beautiful. You know, you have like the gold hardware, and it's like a really clean logo. The next item that I have here, I have shown you before I had traveled to Paris. I had spoken about cleaning out my closet, because it's very important to me that when you buy new things, that you clear out your closet so that you can make space for them, or that in general, even if you're not buying new things, to look at what your closet looks like, see what serves you, see what doesn't serve you. Your style changes, your body changes, things that you may have liked once before, you may no longer like anymore, which definitely goes for these sandals right here. I mentioned them in that previous video because, as I was saying, in terms of cleaning my closet, I either go ahead and sell my items, or I donate them, or I drop them off at like consignment stores. Regrettably, they did not take this item, so I'm working on either selling it on my own through like a Facebook marketplace or giving it to someone, because I've worn these one time. Now, quite similarly enough, it seems to be that the color blue is just like not my color. Maybe for like a shirt, I think that the pastel itself looks really nice on me, but I would say for accessories, my bags and shoes, I tend to gravitate towards neutral colors. So beige, black, brown, white, something like that. But blue, I just don't think I need that color pop or accessory color pop. So I think that this is just definitely not my style. Aside from it, like, you have the big Gigi logo. I don't like the fact, you know, that Gigi Marmot. I don't like the waves here. This is a comfortable sandal maybe, but I just think if you're gonna spend $700 on a sandal, it could be the Cheap, like I had said, or it could be anything else, just not these Gucci sandals. I think that they are totally a waste of money, but it is quite subjective. That is just also more so about personal taste than something that might suit you if it's something that you appreciate. But I will say, like I said, for the color itself, it's not something that you're gonna get a lot of use out of. And I just think that goes true for any brand that you purchased. If it's not like a neutral, sometimes you just don't get the most use out of it. Speaking of another thing that you don't get a lot of use out of, I have here this Hermes ring that I had purchased. I wore it maybe 10 times, maybe less than that. I thought it was pretty cool. I loved it when I got it. It was more like an impulse purchase. I just wore it now. Nope, still don't love it. I will put it on from time to time because, like, I do like to play around with like the silver concept and wear silver jewelry, but for some reason I just think that this ring was more of an impulse purchase. It wasn't useful. As someone that has worked in the jewelry field, I still work in jewelry and I know great quality jewelry. I think for sterling silver price, this is a waste of money. You can get any sterling silver ring for less than $600 or whatever this much. This was like around that cost. I don't even think that this gives you like a quota towards your bags. I think if you had added another $200, you could have gotten an 18 karat gold ring from anywhere, or something with diamonds, something that is a little bit more interesting to look at. The anchor itself is quite beautiful, as you can see, and I remember unboxing it with you guys when I did my jewelry tour, which I'll go ahead and I'll add this video at the end. So if you had wanted to watch that, I have a full jewelry tour that explains the best pieces and the worst pieces. But this was absolutely a waste of money. What can I say? Something that isn't a waste of money that you see me wearing in pretty much every single video, which I have here, are all of my Cartier jewelry, my Missouri jewelry, which I love. Like, look how cute and dainty that piece is. I've never taken this necklace off. Let me just show it to you. This is just simply like a pear-shaped pave everyday necklace, and I mention it because it is a true luxury piece that you don't have to waste your money on, or don't feel like you're wasting money on. It is something that I've never taken off. It probably cost me like $300. I've worn it 900 times so far. It is a beautiful layering piece. It is dainty and it just adds like the perfect amount of sparkle for whatever, as well as like this Missouri emerald ring here, and I stack it with the ring that Rashid gave me, which is very special to me. I have yogurt on my finger, and this Cartier love ring, which they all look so cute together. And then I never did an unboxing for my mini Panther watch, but this is something that I love to wear. This is what I'm saying when I started wearing like sterling silver. It's a really beautiful piece. I think that the band is amazing. The face is beautiful. It's a classic timeless piece. It still looks cool, which is what I was trying to achieve with this ring, but it's something that can be worn for a very long time. With all of that being said, I want to end this video on a high note, so I'm happy I did get to mention everything that I love towards the ending. I hope that this has helped you in any which way to know where you should be spending your money or where you shouldn't. If you have any questions about any items that you are thinking about buying, I'm more than happy to answer them, because I have been in the luxury business for quite some time now, or I would say definitely in the luxury field, like from working opening ceremony in Cartier and Montclair and just spending all of my days in these stores and having all my friends in all of these stores and going to all the sample sales and spending a lot of time with the product and getting to know the quality. I have a lot to say and I have a lot of information to give you guys. So I hope that this helps. But I do want to thank you so much for spending your time with me today. It's always so good speaking with you guys, and I will see you in the next one.